So, good morning. Breakfast with the Broker every Tuesday at 9 a.m. I got to tell you, you are in for a treat, real estate agents. You know him by name. Here we go. And now, by way of Jersey City, New Jersey, South Jersey, New Jersey, founder of Digital Natives Inc. and the Zillow Killer brand, national speaker, storyteller, conversation generator, owner of ROAS Consultants. He's the myth, the legend, James Robert.
I think there's like a drum roll.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, James, how are you managing in Jersey?
All is well. All is well. Jersey is boring, so it's just a location. I'm not tripping about Jersey. It's just a destination for now, but all is well.
So, we were talking a little off air about, Zillow Killer and the brand. And, tell us a little bit about the story of how you came up with it and, what were you looking to do?
Well, honestly, I didn't even come up with the name. The name was more of a structure because I had to speak at Inman. And my advertising, and if you know anything about advertising, you understand the difference between advertising and marketing. Advertising is create memorability. You know what I mean? You have to be able to remember something to stamp, something to hold you. And we had some shirts made. I had to speak, and it's my first time speaking at that level. It was like 6,000 people there. And I had some shirts made and it said Zillow Killer, and it had my company, Digital Natives, below it. The whole point was so people can remember Digital Natives. It was to create the attention there. And I was so nervous when I spoke. I never said my name. Like I went through, I did, they said I did a good job. I got a nice standing ovation. People were resonating from the information, but I never said who I was. And I walked off stage. And when I got back to the green room, I greeted a few people, and I was so unfamiliar with that environment. I just left the green room and went to the front because I'd rather be with the people. That's my thing. You know what I mean? I try not to be a caricature. I want to be a real person. So I wasn't no like hierarchy. It just was like, all right, I did what I had to do. Now let me go to the front and meet my peoples. And I had two people that came with me. And I just so happened to be standing by a sign, and the sign was for Compass, and it looked like I had a booth. It honestly looked like I had a booth, but I was so ignorant to the environment. I just was standing and waiting for my guys to come. And as I was waiting, the doors opened up, and like the crowd just swarmed in, and like 200 people, like 200 so people just wrapped around me, and everybody was calling me Zillow Killer. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm on to something. I texted my assistant, was like, everything that says Zillow Killer, lock it down.
That's awesome. And it really goes for marketing for real estate agents as well. I mean, you need some kind of headlines. I did in Orlando, they did a spokesperson training. And one of the biggest things that I got out of that was that not just spokesperson training, but even when Brad Inman was actually speaking, he's saying that the biggest change in kind of journalism and media is that you hire like headline writers, people that are writing to just catch you, draw you in, and then the article may or may not have substance after that. So that's a pretty awesome story, and we appreciate it.
It's all about being relatable. That's the thing that people don't understand. We get caught up when we hear about branding, and branding is the emotion. Branding is what people say about you when you're not around. So when we think about branding, if we listen to our audience and we listen to people that's communicating with us, they'll tell you exactly what your brand represents. Now, you may have a different perception, and it just goes to say, you always want to be kind. You always be nice. Like I said, if you're a dickhead, then it's obvious. People label you like, yeah, he's a dickhead. I'm not. So, I always try and be that person where relatable, try and humanize the process. And, when people hear Zillow Killer, they immediately take weird processes. They got this. It goes a variety of ways, which is good. It's a fun thing to play with because when you are branding correctly, you create questions, and questions create conversations. Now I can give you clear perspective.
Absolutely. And we were talking a little off air as well as being about relevancy. We talked about how you manage, how are you managing as real estate agents during this pandemic? Tell us a little bit about what the insight that we were talking about as far as relevancy.
Well, I would take you guys even deeper. The rules when it comes to the internet. the internet as a whole, the very first thing you guys have to understand is the internet is a presence, not a destination. And we're learning that right now very quickly. Can you imagine if this pandemic kicked off and there was no internet? What would we do? Right? Communication would be off. We'll be so consumed with all of the propaganda that people are putting out there in reference to news. It'd be no truth. We couldn't really connect or make sense of anything. So when you understand the internet as a whole, where we're never offline, never, ever offline. It's an amazing time we live in. Now, yes, it can be a little bit diabolical, but it's also, it's also divine, where we have the world in reference to communication right here in front of us. And what I was saying is, a lot of agents assumed them taking on a more digital side or being more on video and Zoom calls and all the good stuff. Like, oh, I'm innovating. No, you're not innovating. You're becoming relevant now, because it's 2020. You should have always been deploying these techniques and tools. And unfortunately, our industry have a way of nurturing or helping us embrace the nostalgia. I think the nostalgia has its place, but it's mind blowing how we don't see where the world is. And unfortunately, digital is where the world is. Whether you accept it or not, you can't unring the bell. It's what it is. And when you understand, when this pandemic kicked off, it forced the industry as a whole to be relevant, which is absolutely fascinating. And I'm loving it. So.
Yeah, and it forced the industry as a whole to be relevant, very quickly. And, unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, real estate agents and real estate industry, are kind of slow to change. They're slow to adapt it until they're forced to, or until they're forced to embrace that change.
It's
and
okay.
It's all good. It was really, really interesting how, you had, every facet, whether it's your millennial all the way up, baby boomers and farther above, entire generations, going on Zoom calls, 103-year-old, grandmothers or great grandmothers getting on Zoom and embracing it. It's
cool.
Awesome.
Like I said, I love the fact of those people that took on that stance of, I'm not tech savvy. In truth, nobody's tech savvy. There's a learning curve to everything, right? But when we just neglect or completely avoid where the world is, if we don't understand video is essential, even through this time, if we haven't recognized that video is essential to our business, then we'll never succeed in this industry. And if we're paying attention to just what happened, yes, the pandemic is what's happening, right? We know what's going on. We understand, when we talk about the political structure, leadership is all over the place. Yes, we know that. But we as industry leaders or community leaders inside our market, we have an excellent opportunity to take hold of all of this attention that's existing right now. If we take the time to lead our communities, you can't imagine where your business will go. And the internet has removed all the gatekeepers. There's no hierarchy anymore. Right now, everyone is paying attention, and what they're looking for is who know the way. Who's out there that can guide me? Who can give me the right information? And doing things like this, morning with the broker, and different type of information that we can provide from practitioners, right?
Sure.
We're able to give some real leadership to the market. And as agents, you guys can use these exact same techniques and tools to give leadership to your community. I assure you, a lot of people don't know I'm a practitioner on both sides. I sold real estate at a very, very high level, and made the decision not to sell. I didn't fail out. I chose not to sell, and bought on the team, got my team, have a team leader, and I'm still active. I just don't have to sell, right? When we see the possibilities of what the internet offers in reference to distribution, this never existed 10 years ago. So when we pay attention to the relevancy of what's happening, distribution at this level, where you can connect, communicate, broadcast your information, broadcast your show, you can do whatever you want. And you have thousands of people that will be willing to entertain or engage with your information if you, as an agent, be willing to lead.
Awesome. So what should real estate agents what should they be doing now that they're not currently doing?
Well, video is priority. and I touched on it because I think people don't understand video is essential to your business. Video is the highest consumed content on the planet. And when you pay attention to the landscape of how things are moving, the attention on the internet is 6 seconds. That's the highest. That's the time frame. We got 3 seconds to get the attention, and we got another 3 seconds to hold the attention. Gives us 6 seconds to make an impact or to connect. The rules that you have to follow when it comes to the internet, it's ROI. This is a very easy acronym for you guys to remember. That's relevancy, omnipresence, and intimacy. The very first thing you guys have to be is relevant. Talk about the things you know. Talk to the community. Help the community understand that you are aware of what's going on in the community. We know the pandemic exists, but what are some insight that you can point me to that will be relevant to me living in the community or thinking it comes to the community, right? Then omnipresence is the consistency. You have to be consistent with being in front of your audience. He who speaks narrates the story, right? And it's easier. What people don't understand is when I talk about Zillow Killer and help people understand the mission behind it, is all of these syndicated sites, the thing that they can't do is create identity. They use your identity. So with omnipresence, being consistent, getting in front of the right people at the right time with the right mindset, what makes the relevancy and omnipresence work is intimacy. Intimacy, you being able to humanize the process and you telling the person who you are. I know you're a realtor. I know you're a real estate professional. We get that. What I'm talking about is who are you as a person? Lose the mirage, get rid of the camouflage suit, and be human, be a real person, and help me understand give me some solutions throughout this pandemic. I tell people a lot. I live in an area where I live in a park, and the park was closed. If I was actively selling, I would let them know that the park is closed, but you can still interact, right? And then a week ago, the park opened up. That's a whole nother video right there. Okay, you guys, park is opened up, parking is in play, but they put some arrows inside this park that they're asking you to walk clockwise. Being able to give relevant information to your community is key. But if you guys avoid video, you ignore intimacy, automation is a waste of time. It's not going to work for you. So you can guerrilla your way out there all you want. But if you can tap into intimacy and then you tie in things like Facebook ads and YouTube ads, and if you want to do Zillow, by all means, use Zillow by choice, not by it's just something you have to do. But when you understand the world we live in reference to distribution, there's never been a time like this where we can actually create a show like yours. It doesn't cost anything. What it costs, the service that we're broadcasting on, we need a Facebook account. The amazing part about the time we live in, all of these broadcasting channels like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they're free, absolutely free. So video is the very first thing I encourage everyone to deploy. And it's not an easy thing. I would love to be like, hey, video is so easy. It's not easy because it requires you to be brave. And having courage and being brave is like if I told you to go lift 300 pounds. That shit may sound cool, like I'm gonna go lift it, and nah, you ain't built for that yet. So you guys have to develop that muscle of communication, getting in front of the video and being okay with understanding the opinions of other people about you on video is none of your business. Your job is to be relevant, be omnipresent, and to build up a high level of intimacy in your community.
Love that. Yeah, no, I mean, the most successful people doing it at the highest level right now are creating those three things. You're absolutely right. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook and potential lead generation. There's always been this, I don't know, I guess difference of opinion, for lack of a better term, personal versus business pages. Some people are really like, oh no, you got to be personal. You got to be, intimate. You got to use intimacy and be genuine and such. And then some people are like, no, you got to use your business page because people, it's different audiences. What's your, I don't know, top 2 or 3 things that that real estate agents should be doing on Facebook, and should it be personal or a business page?
That's a really, you hit it on the nose, which is really cool. For you guys that don't know, my agency, we service well over 200 plus real estate teams and brokerages worldwide, where this is all we do is for their Facebook accounts and YouTube and all the good stuff. And the structure of how it works is, first and foremost, if you're broadcasting business on your personal page, that's a violation. That's a very easy way for your account to get shut down, right? Now, it may not have happened now, but that's where you're leaning towards, where most people do their lives on their personal page because the attention is high. And it's supposed to be, because that's a higher level of intimacy. The business page is built and structured for you guys to have the tools and the components to advertise to. All data, or all of the views that people are seeing on your business page, can be housed and reused to market to. There's nothing you can do with the information that goes on your personal page. Now, the trick is you go from your business page and you share it to your personal page. But if you view the business page as it's all business, 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 you're missing what I'm saying. You still have to humanize the process. Your personal page is just the structure of how Facebook has developed it, where your business page has all of your tools. The personal page has more of your friends. You have the ability to take whatever information is from your business page and share it to your personal page. When you do that, now you guys are tapping into exactly what all of these syndicated sites have over you, and that's data, right? It's not the MLS. It's not when we think of data, we're thinking of they got the MLS data. That's been public. You can leave that out. You started giving that out when we started using the IDX, right? But when we understand video is data, and it's a very, very fast way to build engaged data. We can house that data. We can isolate that data. We can pay attention to our audience and re-engage with them. It all starts from your business page. And yes, it requires some work. Like, people are like, well, the attention is lower on my business page because you haven't given it attention. You have to nurture it. You have to build it up. But it doesn't take long to do that. But if you do and take the time to build up your business page, that can be one of the strongest assets in your arsenal in reference to advertising. And it doesn't always cost you money. Like, you can build up a crazy strong organic audience. I mean, I have tons of coaching students that, yes, they understand all of the back end and they understand all of the nuances and the automation side. But I have a lot that have tapped into their audience on their personal page by using their business page. And they don't spend a dime inside the back end because they don't need to. But they understand the data that's housed. It has to come from your business page. So whenever you guys are shooting videos, I don't care if it's lives, if you do a production, which, I mean, when I say production, I don't mean you have to get a videographer. If anything you record is considered production. It needs to come from your business page and then share to your personal page. Because myself, as an agency owner, our job is to protect what's called the ROAS, the return on ad spend. I would be furious if you came and wanted to work with us and we seen that you put a video on your personal page and got thousands and thousands of views. And I'm looking at it, it's like, yo, it ain't shit we can do with that. Like, it's nothing we can do.
Yeah, but real estate agents want instant gratification. We don't want to nurture. We want it, and we want it now.
Yeah, that's the
stuff. Doesn't work like that. Garden's got to grow.
We're building businesses, you guys. You know what I mean? That's what we have to realize. Like, a lot of us have come into this industry and we became, we created a very profitable job, right? We just jumped straight into technician, right? And never matured into management of systems. Well, when we think systems should first start with view your system as habits before you get caught up into the software. Yes, software can be deployed as systems, but having some habits that you guys use or start to deploy in your day-to-day is going to help you guys develop systems, even going into your business. So the habit of going from your business page and then sharing to your personal page, same thing like getting up in the morning and drinking more water. Creating these habits that are going to help you guys start to develop your systems, and then you can build it up. So the instant gratification, I'll be honest with you, I think we've heard people like Gary Vee scream, content, and no one is really, and never forget Gary Vee. I like what he does. Gary Vee talks on a very broad scope, very, very broad. When I'm talking to you guys on a more isolated, more controlled environment where that maybe a large majority of your business comes from your sphere or referrals, right? I'm not saying to neglect that. I'm saying to take it from your from your business page and share it to your personal page, which you're still connecting with your audience. You're still connecting with those that are more likely to do business with you right now, right? But you also have the ability to, in Facebook, there are amazing tools where I can replicate those people, or I can ask Facebook to duplicate and find people just like my friends and family, that if you ever got to know me, you probably want to be my friend anyway, or my friend as well. So utilizing the tools and the techniques, that simple technique will be a game changer for your business. And when you have a business page that's like really popping, I'm talking about like that's strong, Jesus Christ, that's a whole nother situation in reference to channel of predictable business coming into your pipeline pretty much every week if you do it right.
You must have read my mind, because you gave me a great segue, because I was going to talk about Gary Vee. And the reason why I was going to talk about Gary Vee is I noticed yesterday he posted something on Facebook that he was going to be on TikTok for like 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's today. And I'm thinking about it like, wait a minute, TikTok's like a 60-second thing. Now they're allowing, these charity, functions, the All-In Challenge, I believe it's called. And you're looking at it and going, wait, is TikTok going to change? Are they, is that going to be a different platform? It's not just going to be for the kids. Listen, I got 3 girls. I got a 15-year-old daughter that doesn't stop moving with TikTok moves, even when she doesn't have her phone in her, on her. And I'm like, it's annoying. It looks stupid. But that being said, TikTok seems to be gaining more and more steam, and significantly better than what Musical.ly was. And how do you feel about TikTok? And are there places to go for real estate agents for that?
Yeah. I'm a fan of anything that holds the attention. So I'm one of them dudes that I don't over romanticize the software. I look at it for what it's worth. It'll help a lot of you guys. If you shift social media and view it in the perspective of distribution, then it's easier to adapt, right? This is just another distribution channel for me to get my message out. Anything that houses video will win every time. That's the world we live in. Video is such a strong channel because it's easy. Like I said, all you need to do is pay your phone bill and you have production in your hand, right? When you look at TikTok, and you have TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. When you look at the big 4, and of course, some of you guys that scream LinkedIn, I'll throw that in there just for the sake of distribution. But when you understand anything that houses video will always dominate, and TikTok demographics have changed dramatically. But you guys have to understand the cultures inside these platforms. So don't think that you're going to just jump in here and, TikTok has a culture where it is short form content. It's an evolution of ephemeral, which is stories, right? When you understand the behavior inside TikTok, well, for us to jump out and say, I'm gonna do a 12-hour, live, wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because it has to have a reason, right? So that's why I said Gary Vee is very broad in his conversations. Like, you have to kind of be careful of the information you digest from him. The greatest part that he talks about is he understands the attention. But the demographics of TikTok has evolved where TikTok is very, very entertaining and addictive. It has an addictive component to it where you can easily just stream and be highly entertained for a very long period of time. Same way like YouTube, where if you search up the right information, you can entertain yourself for extremely and never have to turn your TV on. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you look at the other 3, like LinkedIn, Instagram, and the only one I put at the bottom, you guys can get mad if you want to. I put LinkedIn at the very, very bottom, mainly because the mindset on LinkedIn is just very, very weird and wacky. I don't know who's really doing it. I mean, everybody's a CEO, everybody's a founder, everybody's an owner. It just, I gotta be business, but okay, I get it. So I put that at the bottom. But the demographics for TikTok, matter of fact, during our boot camp right now, one of the attendees, her name is Leah, was just sharing. She's picked up a few leads from her TikTok, which me personally, I see very few people using TikTok correctly for their business. Now, you can go out there and, be very entertaining, and I think entertaining has almost like two voices. Like you can be entertaining or you can be a clown, right? So it depends on where you fit in that category, because I see it, like some people just clowns about it, like that's not going to benefit. I get it. That's not going to benefit you at all. Or you can be entertaining, and entertaining falls into whatever your audience is listening to. I've seen one guy on TikTok, and I don't want you guys to take because he sell luxury as a benefit. It's just leverage. That's the game. It's business. Either you have it or you don't. His leverage is he gets to see these very luxurious houses, and he does TikToks on his experience of just little things he's seen. And one in particular, before you can enter the house, they had this little machine where you had to put your shoe in, and it wrapped your shoe up, and then you can walk through the house, right? And yes, that may seem very, like, oh, what is the point of that? I caught myself watching it, like I was engaged.
I did. I saw it too.
Yeah, but exactly. Before I dismiss it, we have to understand that it wasn't the shoe it wasn't anything over entertaining. It was able to hold my attention, and that's what you have to lean into. So we see all these houses. There are tons of houses for a variety of reasons. We just have a way of being more, we play heavy in the vanity side. Like, I'm selling this $1 million house. Nobody cares about that right now. I sold 33 houses last month. Who cares, my man? Like, where's the value behind that? Because the people that's engaging in that are other agents. They're not your clients. So when we do things that are like, little nuances, like, listen, this particular street has an amazing tree line, but what I found interesting is look at all these red doors. You know what I mean? It's now I done created the intrigue. Like, oh, where's the red doors at? Let me see. You know what I mean? So that's how you guys have to think of TikTok. Very short form, very entertaining. And if you use it right, it all falls into distribution and attention. And that's all you want is the attention. So like I said, you choose your poison, whether you want to be entertaining or you want to be a clown. I'm not going to, listen, no judgment here, but if you're going to be entertaining, there are strategic ways to do that. So yes, the demographics of TikTok is worth entertaining.
That's awesome. Yeah, storytelling, generating conversations, and knowing your audience on those platforms are so important. Real quick, we're kind of running out of time. I know I don't want to take you too long, but all right, cool. Thanks. We talk about your boot camp. And I mean, I can't tell you how I came to find you was actually, through colleagues, and that's, just like in real estate, through referrals and such like that, and everyone is giving you tremendous testimonials through the Zillow Killer boot camp and such. And I believe you have one coming up June 15th. Is that correct?
Yep. The next one is going on right now, and that one is closed. The next one is June 15th. And what we do at the boot camps is an extension for me to help the industry. This industry was the industry that helped me position myself where we were able to break the financial curse of my family's life, right? It was the keystone for me building multiple multi-million-dollar businesses behind that, right? But it all started from me getting in this industry and understanding how to build out a structured business and then evolving up into other components. And there's so much information that lives inside the internet world where everyone is giving their opinion. Like everyone has an opinion, but very few people practice this. It's like, oh, well, I ran Facebook ads and it didn't work for you. My man, my company spends $30,000 a day in the platform. Are we really going to argue you spending $1,000 in a month's time to over 30,000 a day? Like this, we're talking apples and oranges now. I'm giving you true perspective from a practitioner of what works. And we took the key components that are foundational that every agent should know, and we compiled it into an entire week where you spend a whole week with me. Now, I'll give you guys a heads up. It's like drinking from a fire hose with me, but we record every session. And I take you guys piece by piece where it's important that we understand that we live in the evolutionary world now where leads are easy. If all a person can do for you is leads, that's a dated strategy. That's not what you need, right? What you need is conversations. And when you understand how to generate conversations, now you can take your business to the stratosphere. And from Monday through Friday, I just dump information into you guys at nightly sessions from about 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I take you guys through every component that it takes to build out a structured campaign. There's one thing that you guys in the industry need to know is you don't hire people to run Facebook ads for you. That's not necessary. You can Google that shit. You don't need to be like, oh, let me hire someone to run. That's not what you need. You need people to build out campaigns that can help you guys generate conversation, that ultimately help you guys generate revenue. And I spend an entire week pretty much taking the giants and making them your size. Like we compressed all this information. And I personally sit there with you guys, and you guys look over my shoulder and watch me build out an entire campaign. We connect, it's the high level of intimacy. I live by the same rules, you know, and you get to interact with me. It's more about access than just the information. The information is cool, but the access to me is the game changing part, because now I can give you real perspective on what exactly I'm doing, why did I make those changes, and help you guys navigate or make those connect those dots when you guys are building your campaigns. Like I said, Facebook is just one of the distribution channels we use, but the same rules apply. So when you understand advertising, you understand your market or who you're communicating with, these rules can be duplicated over and over and over again. And it saves the person, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars if they're really effective in their business. Like they're really trying to grow their business. All that money we put towards, you know, Boomtown and these IDX websites and Zillow and all these different channels, we can deploy it first in our business, build up a very strong structured business and brand. And then if we choose to add Zillow or Truly or Realtor.com, we add these other syndicated sites, even we start to connect things like, you know, Commissions Inc. or Boomtown, these channels, we do it out of convenience, not out of ignorance. And that's what we've been operating out of, pure ignorance of like, oh, I need this. Why do you need this? That's why you talk to people. And if we ever have that conversation of what is it, CRMs, that just goes on and on and on, because we just over romanticize it, and all it is a pretty spreadsheet. Like, you know what I mean? Like my second year, I did over 10 million in sales from a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet. That's all I use. You know what I mean? So when we over romanticize these softwares, it's coming because we don't have the information. We don't have the proper information to properly make a decisive decision. Like, do I really need to get a zip code in Zillow? Yes, no, maybe, you know. So I'm just showing you, just sharing with you guys, you know, because like I said, this business was this industry was such a powerful component for me. This is my way of giving back. We made it super cost effective. It's $100. Like I said, it's not even for me. We take all of that money and we donate that to children's charities. And you guys have an entire week with me. We record every night. We give you all of the resources. And if you're paying attention, and if you're moving at the speed of implementation, within that week of sitting with me, or by the next week, you guys can have a fully structured campaign that you guys can duplicate over and over and over again without killing yourself. And then if you choose to add on these other channels for your business, they are additions, not like a necessity. Like, oh, I gotta have it. If you want to, you can, but I'd rather make the giants your size. That way you can kind of make a real decisive decision. What do I want to add to my business? And then you can grow your business, because again, our leadership is, you know, on all types of levels, especially in our industry, is just off. Like I said, they quick to tell everybody your first year is going to be horrible. And that's not true. That's a false narrative that we keep hearing. So I'm just trying to break those false beliefs. I'm just trying to give back to an industry that helped me be who I am, helped me be the greatest version of myself every day. And that's what the boot camp is about. It's not about the money, you guys. The boot camp is for you guys, and that's why we did it.
That's awesome. Yeah, our leadership on all levels, I call it detached. They're just detached from listening to whatever their audience is, whatever their consumers may be, whatever the public may be, what have you. They're just totally and utterly detached from reality.
you know, but that's it. So I mean, I can't you can't knock it, right? I mean, it took us 2 weeks to get our real estate license. So I mean, how do we, you know, the barrier to enter is so low. How do we can't expect our leadership to be super in depth. But if we as an industry take a behavior or economic behavior shift in the other direction, these different software companies and syndicated sites will have to come to us and say, hey, listen, how could I be of service? It'll dumb down, or it'll kill off all of that. Here's a new service, you got to have it. No. I understand how to control my market. You need to tell me, how can you be of service to me? If not, I don't need your business, my man. Sell it to somebody else. Sell it to the plumbers. They need it, not me.
Awesome. So how do we sign up for Zillow Bootcamp?
If you go to my website,
Zillow Killer Bootcamp, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. If you go to my website, jamesrembert.com, the link is right there. We only allow 50 people per session, and I think we fill up pretty quickly. Like I said, it's $100. It's not even. Listen, if you got a question spending $100, you definitely need to come to the boot camp. We have a problem. But if you go to my website, there it is, the website, and you'll see the link. And we're trying to do them a little more often because I have the time now. We used to do them quarterly, but I only allow 50 people because I nurture that intimacy. I need to be able to engage with you. It's live. It's right there in front of me. You see me. I see you. You see all of the attendees. And I need to make sure no man is left behind. So 50 people is a nice number for me to connect, work with, and really get you guys to that level where, you know, you're making decisions out of convenience, not out of ignorance anymore.
Love it. James, man, this was great. I think tremendous amount of value talking about, you know, stories remaining relevant, you know, getting your face out there, but consistently, you know, to the audience that you're supposed to be going after. And video is gold. You know, it's the whole thing. You've done amazing things for our industry, and we certainly appreciate it. And thank you for coming on Breakfast with the Broker. Yeah, lots of love. Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you for letting me be of service, you guys.
So Breakfast with the Broker every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We got some exciting guests coming up in the next few weeks, which Rebecca will post out. But thank you very much for joining us. If you do want jamesrembert.com, Zillow Killer Bootcamp, I'll tell you what, $100, best $100 you'll ever spend. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week, guys.